Hey everybody and welcome. So here's my chargers and my batteries I have, and I'm going to go through it from right to left and tell you the details of them, and then I'll post the links down below so you guys can actually see the information. Most of these are outdated and don't really are not being sold on Amazon, and I don't think they're being sold on eBay, but like the PowerX is not being sold, BluePlanet's not being sold, this charger is not being sold, so most of these are pretty outdated. But Goal Zero, PKCELL, this charger, this nickel zinc battery charger, this, and the updated version of Duracell is being sold still. So anyways, for Goal Zero is the Guy 10 Plus. There's 3 at the moment, but I have one in another cell right there. But this comes with 4 nickel metal hydrides from Goal Zero. They make their own batteries and whatnot. The capacity is 2300 for their cells. So they have it in series. So the capacity for the charger is at a 11.1 watt hours for its full capacity of discharge. And they have a unique charging mechanism here that does require you to charge all 4 batteries, but it has a sensing technology that's in it that will balance out the batteries. Even if one is completely dead and the other 4 are still charged, it'll balance out the battery more correctly, and then it'll top off all the batteries correctly. So that's a cool feature about that. Has 2 different charging mechanisms. You have mini USB port, which I believe charges 3 to 6 hours. This is they'll say Nomad, but it's actually for the mini USB. Oh wait, no, that's the solar port. The USB port is 6 hours. This is for the solar panel if you use the solar port. But on their website it says for the solar port it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. So this is about 6 hours, 2.5. And then you got a little light here. And then this USB port, 5 volts out, 1 amp discharge. Now I think their 1 amp discharge is regulated. I'm not 100% sure. But here's the specs you guys can see. Doesn't say regulated, but I ran my little lamp behind me on this, and it's mini Life version, both on high, and it still gives plenty of power for both units, despite the fact that this is actually requiring more than 1 amp of output. So this somehow has better punch power for the output than normal. Even though it has 1 amp output, it still manages to pump out a lot more than that. So that's pretty nice. Now, moving on to my BluePlanet charger. And you can see the specs down here if my camera actually focuses. It can charge BluePlanet alkaline rechargeable batteries that have a special chemical that allows it to recharge these alkaline batteries, and they actually do run just like normal alkalines, which is very nice. So I tested these in a flashlight, and they gave the same exact runtime as standard alkalines, which is about 5 hours, versus the nickel metal hydrides that I had tested, which gave only 3 hours. So that was pretty nice. The problem is this takes about 14 hours to charge all 4 batteries. It probably will differ, maybe, but yeah. And then it also can charge nickel metal hydrides, which you can see an Energizer cell in here for reference. And it has these little bounty pieces right here, which is actually cool. So you can charge full cell or AAAs. Although BluePlanet never sold AAAs, so that was kind of a bummer. And these aren't being sold anymore. And then I have a old USB cell. Can't really find these anymore. I don't know why anybody would want to buy these anymore anyways, because these are pretty old and their capacity is pretty lame. It's only 1,000 mAh, so it's like but basically they're AA with a removable top that allows you to basically plug this straight into a USB port and charge. And the charging mechanism ability is only 0.25 amps, so very low amount of power to charge within 2 hours. And that's it. Although this is also one of the other cells that a lot of people don't like. This is lithium polymer. This is not lithium ion, this is lithium polymer. This is the old school lithium, so this is the more reactive and dangerous kind, so keeps care of these if you ever buy these or get other kinds that are similar. And then this is the newer version lithium ion battery that I got just recently from this company. They have a magnetic charging system. Oh, I forgot to say, this takes about 2 hours to charge. Same as this. This takes about 1.5 hours to charge, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes. And this is 2,000 mAh battery capacity, supposedly. Not 100% sure. I don't have a tester unit to know how much mAh capacity for discharge and charging, so for anybody else that's out there that wants to test the company, go ahead. But yeah. So this is a lithium. I'm not sure if it's lithium ion or lithium polymer or standard cell, but it's lithium basically. And it has a magnetic charging mechanism, as you can see here. So basically it just magnetizes to the top and it charges. It's not inductive charging, it's still contactive charging, so positive terminal in the middle and then a negative terminal on the side. And that is open all the way to the chip, as you can see, so just be aware not to spit in this thing. And they are using a rather interesting kind of metal. I thought it was aluminum at first, but it seems to be some kind of non-magnetic steel. They have the tip right here is a nickel iron tip, which is allowed for the magnetic ability, but the rest of the metal here is actually some kind of a non-magnetic steel. So it's a lot stronger than most other batteries here that I have. Even the old cell that's using older steel, this is a lot more tougher kind of steel than any other batteries I've seen. And it's non-magnetic, as you can see. I'll put as you can see, it's not contacting. And this is steel. This is old school steel, as you can see. So it does contact. This charges about 1 amp for 2 cells, so that's about 0.5 amps for each individual cell when it charges. And then this is a PowerX USB power bank. It comes with these cells, but I have these newer PowerX cells in it. These that come with it are about 24 mAh nickel metal hydrides. And with these cells, it takes about 4 hours to charge these, charge the batteries. You can either charge 2 or 4 at the same time, and they have this little rundown flip system. charge AAAs. And then it is also a power bank. There's two LEDs to see which system is charging. Micro USB, which is input at 1.2 amps. If my camera will focus, there we go. And then DC out is 1 amp. And it can charge cadmium batteries, as you can see on the reading list. So you have the USB output, 1 amp. You just flip it over, boom. Now it's going to read there was a charge before because there was 4 batteries in it, but then it just so charge, discharge. I don't know why it's keep on doing that. But yeah, and it has this little closed door, which is very nice. And that's the same thing with these other two I forgot to mention. Then moving on, this is a newer, well, not newer, but old but new technology that they tried to make that was a lot more better than the standard rechargeable systems, and that was nickel zinc batteries, which basically a lot more higher voltage and more current outputs than standard nickel hydrides that it could produce. And they had these unique chargers and whatnot. So this is a PKA Cell nickel zinc battery charger. It's nothing too fancy about our coding system. 2500 milliwatts, which is basically a capacity about 150. No, not 150. 1,500 capacity in milliwatts. Not too bad. Not too far off from most of the other lithium cells out there, and a lot more powerful, but pretty cool. Although you need these kind of chargers. So here's this. Supposedly it's kind of odd to get charging specifics from this company, but if you basically do the milliwatt and count that up and blah blah blah, you might be able to find out the charging time. But it will say 3.2 volts, which is basically adding 1.6 volts times 2, because you could charge 2 at the same time on each side. So 2 here and 2 here. But it is individual charge, so it will individually charge each individual cell at the same time. So if you have just one here or one here, it'll charge one each at the same time. And then you have 2 pins for AAAs. These are actually pretty cool, and they're the safest cells out of all the batteries besides nickel hydrides. They're a lot safer than lithium batteries, because they don't explode. They're only made of nickel and zinc power, so even if they get crushed or anything like that, or they leak or whatever, they're not going to be any problem. But if you basically expose this or break it, have any of these lithium cells get cracked or anything like that, they'll leak, they'll explode, they'll catch on fire, whatever. So these you have to be careful with for using specific chargers, because if you use anything different, it's going to go. But these are pretty versatile. Now, you still have to use specific chargers, but you could technically use like this charger to charge, which is also a zinc charger, or if you had this, which I'll talk about in a second, this can charge them too, because this doesn't have any kind of limiter for the voltage or the mAh capacity. But yeah, so I think there's 3 brands out there. There's PowerEX, whatever it's called, that has a similar charger to this, but it has different kind of charging mechanism, and it's a little bit faster on charging. I believe they say it's 1 hour charging capacity which is pretty fast. And instead of just red lights to rely on and a 6-hour turn off system, I think they have a different charging mechanism. But yeah, their charger seems a lot better than the PKA Cell. And then there's the Ultracell system that supposedly I saw that had like an 8 charger system, including 8 charging for AAA. But they don't sell those anymore. So the biggest problem with this PKCELL is that it does have a 6-hour auto turn off, which these cells normally take 5 to 6 hours charge, and that's kind of stupid. Now it doesn't turn off, like if you unplug it and then put the batteries back in and they take like another hour to charge, it's not turning off the charger itself, it's just turning off the cell to charge. But it does have a 6-hour turn off of the charger itself. So if it's on for 6 hours and these batteries are still not charged, it'll shut this charger down for who knows, until you unplug it for about 30 seconds and re-plug it back in. I don't know why a charger would even be doing that. There's no point to it. But yeah, it does that. It's kind of stupid. And then moving on, I got this, I don't know what this is called. I'll have to put the link down below. It's VuPower. Some random charger I found that was about 2 hours. So here's the specs: charge, nickel and cadmium battery charger. And then I got the versatile batteries that it can charge. So I have a cadmium battery in here. I have a Rayovac charger that are nickel metal hydrides, and basically supposedly takes 2 hours to charge any of these batteries, no matter the capacity. So these are this is 21, this is 24, and this is about 1350 on the capacity. And then it charges micro USB. And then to the famous solar battery charger that I have, that is actually pretty dang nice. I've really been liking this. You could charge it via a solar on its own, or extend, help it charge with solar by using the mini USB port. And then it also has a discharge jack right here. This is 5 volts, but depending on the battery you put on here, this will charge from 0.5 to about 0.8 amps of output. It doesn't go to 1 amp, it just goes about old school of 5 to 0.8. Now for nickel metal hydride, about 0.5. But if you put in the zinc batteries that I have, or say you go the upscale and put alkaline, you'll get about 0.6, I think, or 0.7. And then if you put, that's the same alkaline and lithium, you can run on this also, and it'll be like that. But for the zinc batteries, you can go up to 0.8. It gives it a little bit more boost. And the other thing I forgot to mention, zinc batteries also have a higher current capacity, so they are allowed to discharge much faster than any of the cells right here completely. So these can discharge about, I think, 3+ amps compared to nickel metal hydride. I don't know the current amount of amps they can pump out. I think it's like 1, maybe 1.5. Same thing as these lithium cells, but these get pretty warm, pretty hot. But these, on the other hand, can do up to like 3+, and that means that these can be super cool when they're pumping out a lot more power. So that's the cool thing about them. And this, so you can charge this with either 2 batteries or 4 batteries at the same time, and then it also has 2 AAAs you can charge. Now the charge times really depend on the amount of capacity you have in the batteries and how many batteries are charging. So it really differs. Cadmium batteries and low mAh capacity nickel hydrides will probably be about 2 hours if you assist the solar charging with the mini USB. I keep on saying micro. And that's about 2 cells. 4 will probably be about 4 hours. And then 2 hours for high capacity nickel hydride AAAs at about 800. And then you do have this charging indicator system. This will normally be about green to yellowish when it's fully charged for nickel hydride, and then pretty much green for alkaline, lithium, and above for nickel zinc batteries. So for green, boom. And this doesn't have a voltage limit or a capacity limit for its charging, so you can't leave this basically charging. You have to time it like the old school nickel cadmium or nickel metal hydride RC car kind of plug-in toy ones, where you had to like, okay, it has 4 hours of charging ability, come back 4 hours, unplug it, or else you're going to have a overcharged battery and it's going to be basically dead if you don't unplug it within 4 hours. So that's what this has to do with your charging. So if you overcharge your batteries, you're basically destroying them. And for everybody's information, no, you cannot charge lithiums off of this. Lithiums are built to charge specifically with their chargers that they're designed to charge with. So if they come with this or their own kind of case, they charge with their charger that they come with. So don't ask, oh, hey, can I charge lithium with this? Blah, 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 blah. No. Period. Don't ever do that. Same with, you can probably charge alkaline, but it's a bit risky because you still have to see how much charge you're going to get, and you have to basically compare it to the same charge as that and really kind of time it off. But anyways, yeah. But my zinc batteries, you can do the same thing. You can charge off with the zinc batteries if you want to. But what I'm doing right now, since this zinc charger really doesn't fully charge capacity of my zinc batteries, I stick these zinc batteries after these are fully charged into this USB mini, charge it for a little bit more, about an hour to 2 hours for 4 batteries, and that gives these topped off. And there you go. And then you can also test if the batteries are dead by it being red or nearly red. Then we go to this Zinc and Life 04 charger. So this can charge the zinc batteries at 1.6 or Life LiPo 4 cells. So there's the specs for it. And it charges by micro. So it has 4 of these moving slots. I stick my cell in here and I just let it spring back and it starts charging. But again, like I said, it doesn't seem to charge the zinc batteries pretty well to top off, so I stick them in that other charger for about an hour and boom. And I also found out that it doesn't seem to want to charge the AAAs that I have for my zinc batteries, so I have to charge them in the PKA Cell charger, because it seems to basically just go to the voltage and it just detects that and it doesn't want to charge the mAh capacity inside of it. so it's kind of lame. But it's pretty cool. I can just jump it like that instead of taking like that and having 6 hours turn off. This doesn't turn off. It does stop the cells when it's fully charged, so it will turn green and then stop charging. But yeah. And then old Duracell Iron 400 charger with a foldable system. This is the Duracell Battery. This is actual true company. This is not from China or anything. I got this in, I believe, Walmart, or it was Walgreens. I got this charger and the AA's, and they've been pretty reliable even for now. I actually revived this battery from the dead, and it's still working pretty nicely. And this charger still works even though it's been sitting in my and a bunch of other stuff for a couple of years. So that's pretty nice. Here's the specs, if it will show correctly. Nah, it's not going to show up correctly. Oh, wait. Class 2 charger, Class 2 nickel metal hydride, 3 volts. So for 2 cells, it'll charge at 1550 mAh. For 4 cells, it'll charge at 775. For 4 cells on, oh wait, no, that's 2 cells AAA's. For 4 cells, it'll charge same thing. 4 cells at AAA's, it'll charge at 388. So it charges up to 1.5 instead of 1.4 like other chargers. Now again, this is the old version. The new version, I believe, has a 3 indication lights. This only has 2, where charging is red, fully charged is green. The new one has charging is red, when ready to use is blinking green, and then when fully charged is solid green. And then bad battery is blinking red, which this also has blinking red for bad battery. And then to a rather cheap charger that I found, it's only like 10 bucks, nickel metal hydride charger, but you can also have it as a power bank. And here's the specs. Not sure how the time is for the charging and nickel metal hydrides are, but for the ability I got of using it as a power bank, it's pretty nice, because as you can see, it can use any of these battery types that is in it currently. So it can use zinc batteries, it can use alkaline batteries, and it can use nickel metal hydride batteries. So, and you can mix and match on 2 cells or whatnot. So you'll nickel metal hydride and alkaline batteries on this side, or alkaline batteries on this side, hydride on this side, or nickel zinc batteries, alkaline, such and such and such. So it regulates the power output for this 1.5 amps. But again, the zinc batteries have better current output, so you can have 4 zinc batteries in here. Not going to run as super long as alkaline will, or maybe some capacities of the nickel metal hydride, but the batteries will be super cool to the touch when you are done using the device as a power bank. This doesn't have an auto shut off like the PowerX or the Goal Zero does, where basically once it's pretty much the batteries are incompatible to charge at that 1.5 amps of output to your device, or how much input your device is using, this doesn't just shut down. It'll start, basically, it'll go to a half power output low, and then it'll just start dropping down like this of its output. So some phones and whatnot, you might not notice that. For LED lights, you will probably notice that right off the bat when it starts basically fading. So it doesn't have that cut-off system as other power banks do, which is not too bad, but yeah, for some it'd probably be an annoyance. But very versatile, and if you're wondering, oh well, it can run alkaline, can it run these lithium AA's? No. Even specifically says it can't. It's recommended it doesn't, because the resistance for some of these chargers and these lithium cells is quite different. So the amount of heat that these get is like 3 times hotter than you would find from any of these batteries. So if you stuck in here and tried to use it as a power bank from these batteries, you'll basically blow these batteries up inside this unit. And yeah, because of the amount of heat generated from these cells. So don't use lithium, period. You can use zinc batteries, but not lithium. You can use alkaline, but not lithium, because their current chip system inside of it is just not designed to output the same amount of flow capacity as zinc, alkaline, and nickel hydride, because they don't have a chip that basically has it like that. So they have complete flow access to the cell full on, unlike lithium that doesn't. Lithium batteries are actually 3.6 volts, and then they have a chip that drops them down to 1.5. That's why you have a full stable 1.5 across the board until it basically is dead, because that chip is down regulating the voltage from the internal battery itself, because the battery is actually 3.6. It's not 1.5. None of these AA batteries is 1.5 at all. That's why they require this special 3-in-1 or special kind of chip inside of it to deregulate the power. If it wasn't for that, you basically would have 3.6 or 3.2 volts going straight to your device, and that would be pretty bad. So yeah. So that's all my chargers, and I'll post the link of all that down below. For most of them that